Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Paul, and in this video, we're going to be checking out some ideas for how to practice and work on Saxophone Etude 3 for the 2024 TMEA All-State Jazz Auditions. So when working on this etude, we want to be listening to bossa and cool jazz style music to get that sound in our ears. Some players that come to mind are Stan Getz and Paul Desmond. So in addition to listening, we also want to be playing along with recordings, trying to match the articulation, sound, and style as much as possible. And there are also many other great bossa, Latin, and cool jazz style players out there. So if you have one that you particularly like or a recording that you enjoy listening to, please share in the comments down below. Because again, the more that we are listening and playing along to recordings, the better. So the main thing that we're going to focus on in this etude is the rhythm, because there are a lot of rhythmic details and some challenging rhythms within this etude. Okay, so when working on these rhythms, I always like to clap and sing before I play, just to make sure that I'm super clear with how the rhythms sound and I'm hearing them correctly as I play them. So there's a few different ways you can do this. You can clap the rhythm and count it, or you can clap along with the metronome and sing the rhythm, trying to feel how it relates to the underlying pulse. So we're going to clap and sing with the metronome. Dee da dee da dee da dee da 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 do da. And then we're going to go ahead and play. So a way to make the rhythm more accurate with this is to clap the underlying subdivision with the metronome and then sing the line. Da-da-dee, da-da-da, 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 da-da, da-da-da, da-da-dee, da-da-da, da-da-dee. And then doing this at a slow tempo to make sure we're super clear with how the rhythms relate to the pulse and we can really hear what's going on. Da-da-da, 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 da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-dee, da-da-da, da-da-dee. And so doing this will help really make the rhythm clear in your ear and how it relates to the time. Now let's go ahead and play it, and we want to try to hear that underlying subdivision that we were just clapping as we play. Another strategy is to really break down all the rhythmic figures to make sure that they're staying accurate beat to beat. So for example, in measure 8, just working on each of these small groups of rhythms. Then in measure 10, I'm going to break the tie to make sure I'm really clear with that 16th note entrance. And then put these small rhythmic parts back together. And then when we have grace notes, it's always a good idea to take the grace notes out first so we hear the underlying rhythmic structure and how it fits. And then when working with quarter note triplets, it's important to remember to hear the underlying triplet subdivision. So to work on this, you can set your metronome to play triplets so that you can hear how those quarter note triplets fit in. You can also clap eighth note triplets and then sing the quarter note triplets. Da 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 dee da dee da da. So now let's play it, but try to really hear that underlying triplet subdivision. So two other strategies for working on rhythms that kind of complement each other are to break ties and play the underlying rhythmic structure. So for example, the rhythm in measure 16, I'm going to break the ties, and then I'm only going to play the notes that land on downbeats and ands, leaving out the 16th note triplets so I can clearly hear the underlying rhythmic structure. And now I'm going to add back in the triplets, but still break the tie. And now I'm going to put back in the tie. So another place this would be useful is in the rhythmic figure starting at the end of measure 18, going into measure 19. So here I'm going to break the ties, and then I'm also going to add another strategy, which is to play the underlying rhythmic subdivision so that I clearly hear the differences between how these notes are subdivided. And now I'm going to play it just without the ties. And now I'm going to kind of put some of the ties back in. And now all the ties back in. So another great place to apply the strategy of only playing the underlying rhythmic structure and then breaking ties is in measure 31, this phrase that happens in this line. So I'm hearing how this all kind of fits. And so now I'm going to add in the underlying eighth notes in specific sections. I'm going to isolate even further, just playing from the end of 31. So at the end of 32, I'm going to play these eighth notes, breaking all the ties. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and put things back together piece by piece, making sure that the rhythmic gestures that kind of build up the phrase stay intact. So we didn't cover everything in the etude, but all of these strategies can be applied to any section that you are working on. So clapping and singing with the metronome, clapping the underlying subdivision with the metronome, and then singing the rhythms on top of that, playing the underlying subdivision so that you can clearly hear it, breaking ties, and playing the underlying rhythmic structure so that we can more clearly see how the rhythms fit together, playing small rhythmic gestures to make sure that they're lining up accurately. And all of these strategies can be used in combination together. Maybe you switch between them when working on a specific rhythm. So hopefully these ideas and strategies for how to practice the rhythms in this etude are helpful. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. And thanks for watching.